Hi everyone, it's Deb at Color Everywhere, and I'm coming on today with a little uh, follow along so that we can make a new little storage system. I talked about it a little bit not too long ago on I was live just doing some testing and what have you. So if you, just in case you didn't see that, I'm going to go ahead and start over with the description. I know that we all have a lot of lace and um, trims and ribbons and all that kind of stuff that we struggle with having a way to store it until we're ready to use it. I know some people use these little bobbins or just a flat piece of paper and wind it around or whatever. Some people use larger ones. Here's a larger one. And they just work really well to keep things. They don't make the creases too bad in them. They take up a lot less room than ribbon that's on a spool. Spools are pretty big, and this kind of round spool. It's nice on here because you don't get any folds in your trim, but at the same time, it does take up a lot of space, and I don't really know anyone who has too much space who wouldn't rather save some space for other things. So I'm thought this would be a nice little project to share. Please excuse my voice. I've been suffering with some kind of a sinus thing going on for the past week or so. Yes, I did get tested yesterday for COVID. I won't get the results for 3 or 4 days, but I don't really believe that I have it. This is a very normal thing for me this time of year anyway, and something happened that I think set it off. So I'm just going on about my business. It's getting better every day, so it'll be gone before long, I hope. That beside the point. Okay, so I just wanted you to know why I sound so scratchy. So my idea was, so many of us subscribe to HP Instant Ink, which is a subscription service that works with certain HP printers, Hewlett Packard printers, and the printer is monitored through a modem in the printer, and they send you the ink before you run out, is the way it's supposed to work. And they have different levels of the program. You could get 100 pages a month for a certain amount, or 50 pages a month or more. And the pages roll over if you don't use them all. And it's just a real nice program. I just love it. I've been using it for a long time now. And I've always loved these little boxes because they'll send your ink. It might just be one cartridge, but they'll send it in the same little box every time. And I'm kind of funny about boxes. I like boxes, especially small ones. This is a very nice box. It's sturdy. It's real sturdy. It's got, you can see here the ends are doubled, tripled really. 1, 2, and then this one. It has a nice little closure, so it's not going to fall open. And I thought, since I get so many of these, because I get probably one a month at least, I thought it'd be a good way to use them. Now, they do have a program where you can send back your empties, but that's another little package that comes in this. So there's really no reason not to use these. They're nice little boxes, and they make a nice size storage. And the box itself is, let's see, is 7 by 4 1/4 by about, by 2. So it's a nice little space. So the idea is to make I'm going to cover the box, decorate the box, and then I'm going to make bobbins that fit in the box. These are a little bit too small. These are the ones that I made to go in here. So you can see they'll take advantage of all the space, and I'll show you how to make those. And I just thought this would be something nice to share, and a good use of supplies that, that come to hand. Now, if you don't have this box, you can do this with any box. You could, if you don't like a lid, you don't have to put a lid on it. Here's a box without a lid. The lid's been cut off. It's still a really nice, strong box. So, you know, there's all kinds of ways you can do this. So, find you a box that you like, that's the size you want, that's convenient, and make one of your own. Now, the other two ways that I store these right now, I have a antique sewing machine drawer that really works well. I've used these drawers for so many different things at different times. Right now, I'm just using it for this overflow of these little bobbins, because I just got all of these ribbons and some other purchases I had made. They came with them, so I had to have some place to put them, and I don't like to just put them in a pile together, because they just get lost that way, and I never use them. So this is a nice way to do it, and I love this box. I love the size of it, but it's a little inconvenient because of the size. It's 15 inches long, and it's easy to transport. Excuse me. It's easy to transport from one place to the other in my room, but it doesn't have a cover, and I really don't want these to be out in the dust all the time. So I thought it would be a good idea to make something for them. So first I'm going to talk about these. What I did was I measured this inside size of my box, because I want them to go from side to side. That way they're not going to be getting all jumbled around like this and turned around. If they fit the box fairly close, then they'll have less tendency to twist around and get out of place. Because I don't plan on putting any dividers in. I could put some dividers in here that are attached to the box just by taping, cutting a piece out that's the exact size, taping it at the bottom, taping it at the sides, and then there would be dividers, but I'm not going to do that. These are, you can see in this box, if you look in this box, the fact that the stuff is on it keeps it in there. If your box is full, now if my box wasn't full, some of them, let me pull some of these over. See, they would just kind of start spreading out and maybe even turning. But if the box stays pretty full, then when you pull one out, it's not going to make much difference. And the cushioning of the lace or the trim also has a tendency to make it fit together really well. So I measured, excuse me, I measured the inside of the box, which is just a little over 4 1/4. Actually, that's not right. This box, you kind of have to hold it together, because this is what happens. If it's loose at all, this is going to spread out like this. And if you measured it, it's going to be too big. So you need to pull that together so that everything's tight and measure it. So that's just over 4 inches. So I know if I make my pieces 4 inches long, that they'll fit in there pretty well. I decided that I wanted it just slightly, it is just like 1/16 of an inch under 4 inches. So it's like 3 15/16 if you want to get technical about it. So I made it just maybe probably like 1/4 of an inch shorter than the width of the box. And then for this width, it can't be taller than the box. Otherwise, it won't close. So I did the same thing, held everything together, measured the size of the depth of the side, and that was 2 inches. So I know that my spindle, I keep calling it a spindle. I know my bobbin would have to be 2 inches, well, really less, a little less than 2 inches, a little less than 4 inches. So that's what I did. I just folded a piece of paper. I cut it to half of the size So in this case, I cut it, if you're making it for this box, I cut it at 2 inches from here to here, from the fold, or it'd be 4 inches this way. So it's folded in half. Then I took my corner rounder, where did it go? Here it is. Let me make one while I thought I had saved a piece of paper. Here it is. Okay, so this is what I did. Folded the paper because I want everything to match, not be all wonky. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it so that it looks right. And then I put in my measurements. In this case, it's 2 inches because that's half of 4. So I cut that because I know that's as big as it could be. See? Okay. As big as it could be. Then I took my large corner rounder, and I don't know how you tell what size this is. I have a smaller one and a larger one. I took the larger one. Oh, and then you have to measure the width also. And I said it has to be smaller than 2 inches. So 2 inches or smaller. So that's what I did. I did 2 inches. So 2 inches. So the first cut was the length. This cut is the width. There's my 2x4 piece. Doesn't look too straight. Then I took my corner rounder and I just rounded both folded double, rounded both sides. So it looks like this. Then I thought, well, how am I going to get that so that it looks nice and round here? Because it's not exactly a circle. So I just took another piece and rounded it with the corner rounder. And then I took it and it was sort of an eyeball type thing. I just made the bottom even and then drew around that curve. So that gave me, more or less gave me this curve. Now, I'm going to stop right here because what I did was I made this, but this I trimmed it after I originally cut it out because I didn't like the way it worked. So you can see what I ended up doing. I made this a lot more narrow. And I also made, before this was wider, I made it more narrow because I wanted more space in the center. I think originally I might have had it like at 1 inch. And this isn't 1 inch, is it? No, this is 1 1/4 inches. I think I used my ruler and I started out like this. So it was this big. But I didn't like it. It seemed to take up too much room here. I wanted to have more room on this part so I could wrap more stuff on it. So I went back and I just eyeballed it and just drew it a little smaller. And I think I also cut a little bit more off of the edge. So that's what I'm going to do. It's basically however you want it to look, but you just need to make it so that it will fit within the shape of your box, the size of your box. Once I had one side done the way I thought I wanted it, I took it and folded it. So that everything matches. You know, the edge, the ends, the sides match. The edges match, I should say. So now I'm here. First, I just did one side. Cut it two together, did one side, so I would have the same shape. Now I'm going to fold it this way, so I'll have the same shape. And everything's going to match. You might decide you want a bigger box and you want the big bobbins. So here's what you end up with. So it's a little bit of measuring. It's a little bit of figuring out, you know, exactly what you want. This is still too wide to suit me. If I want to be exact, I can go back over here and cut it to match. Now let's see if this will fit in the box. Yes, it does fit in the box. It might not be exactly the same as the first one I did. I doubt it. But it's close. But that's how you do it. You're just making a shape that will fit the box you have and that will hold your ribbon or your trim. And this is the pattern. So then I put it, you could put this on cereal box or cracker box or whatever, something like that, if you want it to be really, really hard, you know, stiff. But I like this 100-pound craft paper. I like it a lot. I've been using it a lot lately. I just bought a whole package of it because I like it so much. And you can just lay these out, trace around, put as many as you can on a page, and then cut them out. And then you'll have a whole stack of them. And I do plan on making a SVG at some point so that I can cut them on my Cricut or the Silhouette, either one. So that's how you make these. Now, if you wanted to go farther than this and you wanted them to be decorated, or let's say you used a cereal box or something, you can cover it with scrapbook paper before you ever cut these out, and then just cut the paper, you know, cover it on both sides if you want to get really fancy, and then cut the piece out after everything's layered together, glued together. Then you'll have pretty little ones. Let me see if I can find a pretty one. Well, I have some bigger ones. See, like this has pretty little prints on there. But I decided I don't need to do that. I'm happy with just the plain craft paper. So that's how you do that part. I hope that wasn't confusing. I'm taking these medications for my sinus stuff, and sometimes it gets a little ahead of me, I think. What I did was, once I cut one of the thicker ones out, I cut one out first, and then I used it to draw all my patterns on there, because it was just a little bit easier because the paper's thicker. But these are nice. I mean, you know, they're thick enough to where they're not gonna bend and get all wrinkled up, but they're thin enough to where they don't take a lot of space and they're easy to cut by hand. So I like them. Now on my box, I think what I've decided to do is I'm going to cover it with fabric. And I just grabbed a stack of fabric just to figure out what I want to use. I think I really like this, but I think I want to use that on a book. Both of those I want to use on a book. This I want something for my kitchen. This I want to use. So I think that's all I have laying around. I'll use one. I'll use this maybe. It's pretty. I think this is a Tim Holtz fabric. So I think I'll use it. Now, if you're using one of these HP boxes, the great thing is it comes apart and it lays out flat. Look at that. How nice is that? I don't even have to fiddle around with the inside. And since I'm using fabric, I don't believe I need to use anything to mask the box. I don't think you'll be able to see through it. Yeah. So I'm going to use this on the outside. Let me see, on my outside. Yeah. I'm going to use that on the outside, and then I might use something different on the inside, maybe paper on the inside, just to make it pretty. Now really, since it's not going to be sitting out open, I probably don't even have to do the inside. I might just do this part and this part and leave that as it is because it'll be all right. So I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac and glue this fabric to the box. Okay, that's the top. See how I want it to go. Probably like this. Okay. This is a live broadcast. I don't have anyone in here with me. Maybe someone will show up at some point. But I've just recently started. This is just really my second live broadcast because I've always had so much trouble with my setup. And I'm just now trying to get that all figured out. So it doesn't surprise me that no one's here besides me. And that's fine. That's fine. I don't care. It's always nice to have company, but it doesn't worry me. So I'm just using my Fabri-Tac. I'm just going to do these 2 piece parts, and glue them down, and do some more parts so it's not all dried up as I go. Let's see if I can do this. And I just want it to go to the edge. I'm not going to wrap it around or anything. I might should have pressed it. Get some of the wrinkles out. I think it'll be all right. Okay. Now some of this won't show at the end because it'll be tucked under the flaps. But it's easier just to cover it all and instead of cutting and piecing things together. It's one thing that's really nice about this box. I didn't think about it when I first had the idea, but then when I started thinking about covering the box, I realized how handy it was going to be to unfold it. Unfold the box, I mean. Now you really can do this same process with it being flat like this on any cardboard box. If you look at the way a box is constructed, it's flat before it's put together. So you can always undo those glued seams and cover it and then put it back together the same way it was. You don't always have to cover the box and struggle with trimming the corners and all that kind of stuff. You can do it like this. Okay, let's see. So here's what we have. Now I will have to go back and glue some of the edges, but I knew that. So now I'm just going to take my scissors and cut this end off just to get it out of the way. See, I should, this is the top flap. This is the bottom flap. I think I'm going to do one more thing here. Should have done it at the top. I wasn't thinking. But since I decided I'm going to cover this piece, I think I'll just go ahead, since I have fabric here, and flip this up and glue it on here. That way that will be done. I should have done it on the top piece too. Too late. Okay, so I just trimmed this piece. All right. Okay, so now I just need to trim the rest of the excess. Come on, box. Go with the program. Hi, Laura. How are you today? Thanks for stopping by. You're my first person today. Excuse me. I got all kinds of coughing and hacking going on, so please excuse me for that. I am making a storage box to put ribbon wraps into. And right now I'm using a Hewlett-Packard Instant Ink box. I don't know if you have that program or not, but these are nice little boxes, so I thought this would be a good use for it. And I've also made, where'd they go? Made spools, yeah. Made spools to wrap my ribbons around to go in the box. So that's what I'm doing, just a short little, quick little thing. I love these boxes, don't you? I'm a little bit ahead. I got my turkey. I smoked a turkey this morning. And yesterday I made some cranberry relish. And that's all I have to do because my daughter's doing the rest this year. And she said, Mom, don't worry about making a bunch of stuff. I'll do all that. And it's going to be, we're having our Thanksgiving dinner or lunch at her house tomorrow. So I knew I wouldn't have time to smoke the turkey. It took, I think it took 5 hours because I put it in at 7, took it out at 1. And it really, really looks good. Oh boy. I have to tear it apart later. I'll have to get a taste because it looks so good. You had to do your dinner tomorrow? You cooking or what are you doing? I think I would have done this lid piece, this lid flap differently. I had some extra at the bottom, so I folded this one over. That's what I should have done with the lid because it will get more action, I guess I could say. But I'm just trimming it straight. Might have to think of some other thing to do for it to make it a little bit stronger. I think once I glue my edges down really well, they're going to be fine. They're going to just stay in place really well and make it look really nice and finished. Do you hear me and see me okay, Laura? Yay. I've had so much trouble. I'm still not real happy with my focus, but I don't know how to make it any better. I've tried everything. maybe that's as good as it gets with the computer I have. Hopefully I'm getting a new computer before long for my craft area. And I'm hoping that will help some with the with everything, really. Because I have a nice camera, and it should work really nice, but boy, do I have focus problems with it. Oh, good. Thanks for letting me know that. That's good information. Okay, finally. Let's see here. Too many strings. Okay. So that looks pretty good. Now let me see if I can get it back together. Let's see. Oh, I gotta trim that. Well, I had to get my turkey thawed. I put it out. What day did I put it out? I guess I put it out Sunday in the refrigerator because I knew I would not have time tomorrow morning. We're eating at noon, so I knew I wouldn't have time tomorrow morning to get the turkey done. And I didn't want to be getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning or something. So we decided that I would make the turkey today so it would be ready for tomorrow, which meant I had to, when I smoke the turkey, I always brine it the night before. And then I inject it before it's smoked. That worked pretty well. Got some strings to get rid of. And I'm going to glue this so that it stays together and doesn't pop out at all. And so then this will go in here. Yeah, I got to glue the edges first. So I had to start it a day early because it had to be thawed 2 days before Thanksgiving so I could have overnight to brine it. And it actually was pretty close to being totally thawed when I took it out yesterday and put it in the brine. So it worked out really well. I just hope it tastes as good as it looks because it looks beautiful. I'm not much of a cook, actually, but I'm learning how to use the smoker. It's not too hard, really. See, I'm trying to think of what I need to worry about gluing. That won't show. This will. That won't show. This will. Well, our smoker, we haven't had it. We got it this summer. And It's not an electric one. It looks like a barbecue grill, a big barbecue grill, but it uses wood pellets. These little pellets. They look like rabbit food or something. And so it burns those little pellets, but the thermometer or the thermostats and all that show you what the temperature is and, make it work at the temperatures. That's all electric. So it has to be plugged in, but that only really runs the thermostat. So it doesn't really take a lot of electric, but it eats those pellets up. So far, we've tried different meats and chicken, of course. We eat a lot of chicken. And we've done some meat sticks, snack sticks, and what else have we done? Well, the turkey. I did some Cornish game hens, which I don't think I'll do any more of those. They're like squirrel. There's not enough of them to eat. You got to pick at them just to get a bite. I just want to take a big bite and have that all in my... Don't have to work too hard for it. But we've tried a few things, and I'm getting good at some things. Steak. I can't cook a steak to save my life, and I don't really like steak. Just my husband likes steak, but I finally told him, I said, we're wasting money buying these steaks, and they come out terrible. I said, we might as well just go to town and eat out, instead of wasting our money on something that's not coming out good. So hopefully that's what he'll do about that. Okay, so now I'm going to glue this closed. I think I better use the heavier glue. And I should only need to put it, well, I'll put it on both sides. Okay. Whoops. I want these to stay pushed in so it's nice and tight. I better put something on here. There's one side. Bottom's already covered. When I folded it out, when you open it up, that's how I was able to just do it all at one time. Because the box folds out flat. So when I had it open like this, I was able to cover the whole bottom. Or did you mean this bottom? I think I'm just going to leave this like it is because it doesn't look bad. That certainly needs something though right there. Like that. I'll fix that in a minute. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave because it's just a little design, I'm going to cover this. I think I'm just going to leave that. Otherwise, I can just put a false bottom in there and cover it, and that's probably what I think I'll do. That I think I'll do a false bottom. Just put in there, that way it'll be covered. maybe. Yeah, I can do that. I can cover this all the way, like all the way down in this whole area and down to the bottom. And then the sides of the inside will all be covered. Then I'll just make a little fake bottom to put in there. That'll work. I could have done it the other way too before I glued it, but it wouldn't have hid the little raggedy edges at the bottom. So it's probably better just to put a little fake bottom in there. Yeah, you always want your bottom to be covered. You don't want your bottom to be shining out for everybody to see. Yeah, I think that'll work. Now I gotta figure out what I'm putting on the inside. All I have left of that is this little scrap. I don't know if I want to put paper or more fabric in there. See these little scraps. And use them for something. I got a couple of sewing journals coming up, so I'll use those in that. Let's see, what else do I have I could use on there? What do I want to use? Don't see anything laying around close by. I have some more of that Tim Holtz fabric, but I don't really want to use this piece on there. I like it pretty well. I'll use it on something else. Maybe I'll just use paper. Let's see. Can you hear my chair squeaking? Let's see, what colors do we have? Greens. Crazy chair. It's a great chair. I've had it for a long time. But it squeaks like crazy, and I've tried everything I could think of on it, but it doesn't work very well. So I just let it squeak. Might ask my husband to look at it. He sometimes has good solutions for that kind of thing. All right. Basically, I'm just making this up as I go. As I go. All I'm really doing is just covering this box. It's just as simple as, I mean, you know, it's pretty generic process. And anytime you can trace instead of measuring, that works too. So that's what I'm doing. This is a fairly heavy, nice heavy scrapbooking paper. I don't recognize her name. Is that what she goes by on YouTube? And is she selling right now? I haven't been with Keisha for very long, so there's some people I don't know yet or don't recognize yet. Oh, they're selling now? Oh, well, I'll have to go over there in a little bit and check it out. I think I watched some of that yesterday. Were they selling yesterday too? Oh, wow. I might have to go over there and look. Lord knows I need more fabric. But I do have in mind some boho stuff I want to do. And I started collecting fabrics for that. Okay, well, I'll be over there shortly. Just about done with this. I want to finish this up right quick. Thanks for letting me know. I wonder if I know how to get there. So if I don't know her, I probably don't have her link. Is it under Pearl Brown? Okay, I'll see you later. Okay, thanks a lot. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, so now I've got this cut out. I'm going to glue it in. And then I'm probably going to go over and see what's going on at the sale. So this is just about done. There we go. See how this fits. Oh, I probably have to trim it a little bit. I'd rather have to trim it than to pull it off and add some more because I didn't cut it right. See you later. Test, see how this fits, and then I'll have to go back in and do some more gluing on the edges. Yeah, it's gonna work. I just have to glue it some more. So once I get all these little edges glued down, I'm going to have to let it dry for a little bit just to make sure they're good and the glue is good and dry. And then once I know it's good and dry on both edges, the fabric and the paper, then I can go back and trim away anything that's needs trimmed. Fabri-Tac didn't work very well on that. Okay. I'm shaky today. It's got to be the sinus meds. I'm usually pretty sturdy. Or sturdy. I'm sturdy too, but I'm usually pretty steady. Just check all my edges. I should have got the tacky glue instead of trying to use that Fabri-Tac. It didn't seem to work very well. this point, you really can just decorate it any way you want to. I'm not going to do anything big and fancy. Have to go back and trim the edges a little bit. Just inking it up a little bit. Give it a little bit of attitude. And I might put something on the top. We'll see what I got. I think one thing I do want to do is I want to put a little place right here to put pins in, because I like to use pins to hold the pieces on. Let's see, what have I got? I got anything in here that'll work? And then I got to cover that inside bottom too. That might work. Just a second, I got to find a piece of stuffing to put in there, which is on the other side of the craft area, of course. Okay, found something. I don't want it to be too thick because then it'll interfere with my things. I just need a small piece. Oh, you know what? We just used the piece of scrap. Why didn't I think of that? Where'd it go? Let's cut a little piece. There's a little piece of leftover here. Always helps if it's straight. Or approximately straight. Just a little glue there to hold that together. And then just making a little sort of a pin cushion. Don't get fancy, just fold it. Always have to get fancy, do something fancy. Just as easy not to. Excuse me. I'm so glad my turkey's done and it looks really good, and I hope it's yummy, which I think it will be. But I'm just glad it's done already. Now the problem is I don't have any way to clamp that on there. So it can dry. Guess we'll just hope for the best. Now I feel a sneeze coming on. Sorry, excuse me. Okay. Alrighty, so still have to do the bottom piece. Nope, not big enough. Okay. Six and fourth. 4 and a fourth. I like this glass mat for gluing and spraying and things like that that are messy. I do not like it for cutting. So I often move it aside. I'm scared to death I'm going to break it, but it's irritating. You can tell this has been well used. I don't know how many of these I've had over the years, but they're tried and true. So 6 and 4th. I've done many projects on it. I would like to have a black one though. The other thing about that glass mat is the ring light that's above here. You probably noticed it shines on the glass and you can see it. 6 and a half. 6 and a fourth. 4 and a fourth. I do really like this paper for a lot of different things, a lot of different uses. Okay, now let's hope this fits. Well, it should fit, but it doesn't. I'll try that again. Make it just a little wider. Ah. try it again. Kind of hard to get it exact by measuring up here because the way the box is made, you almost have to just keep trying it till it fits right. And I want it to fit real snug and hide the edges. So okay, I'm gonna go for it. Even though I know that was cut square, it still is a little wonky inside the box, but for the most part, it looks okay. So that'll work. Okay, so now I'm going to put these lids on. I'm going to go back and trim around the edges where it's frayed a little bit, and then it'll be done. I'm just sort of checking as I go to see if there's anything I've missed with the glue. And if it's glued all the way to the edge, I won't have a problem with the strings and all that, because the glue will hold the edge together. I'm really paying attention to the edges on these little flaps because they have to fit down inside here. I hope I left enough. You know what? I'm wondering if I left enough because I glued that. I should have paid attention to how much space I left in there unglued so they could fit. That's probably why I couldn't get it in a while ago. That'll work though. Okay. I don't want any of this to be able to up. Now I could have painted this box or covered the whole box with paper or decoupaged it or collaged it, anything like that. Just however, whatever you want to do, whatever you find more fun. Good reasons to do it different ways. Time is an issue. How much time you want to spend working on it. What supplies you have. And in the long run, you don't even have to decorate it. It would be just perfectly well the way it was, not decorated. But that's kind of hard to do. Hard for me anyway. Not to do something to it. I used to do a lot of decorative boxes, mostly cigar boxes. And I really enjoyed doing those. And I have a stash of boxes. I'm wanting to do one of those before long. Or at least finish one that maybe was started. I'm not even sure what's in there. I haven't pulled it out in a while. Okay, that looks pretty good. Probably as good as it's going to get. For what it is. Okay. I'm going to do this one more time just to get the spots that were trimmed. Gotta open that back up. I'm just releasing that glue that I put there because I wasn't thinking about have to have room for those little flaps to go in. Now let's see if it'll work. There we go. And there's the little box. Now if I wanted it even more fancy, I could put a little handle on here or something like that. The other thing I am going to do is put something right here on the top. Picture of some kind. Let me see what I want to use. Put this back. And let me go put some roses on there. This is my little book that's all roses. I use a lot of roses, so. And I try to keep some ready just in case I want to use them. Already fussy cut for the most part. Kind of looking for something specific, but I think I might have used it yesterday. I thought there was more than one. I think I'm just going to put that small one on there. But this has birds. No, it's butterfly. All right. Make sure I don't want some birds instead. Nope. Going with this. This is what I do a lot of times. I'll fussy cut it and leave some of the inside pieces to cut later whenever I decide, if I decide to use it. And that way most of it's done. Needs a little bit darker edge on it. I think it's fun to I think it's fun to do a design as you're going along and figure it out as you go along, even though sometimes you wish you'd done something a little different, done it differently than what you've done. It's still fun to wing it. So I've just been winging it today. This is some of my favorite lace. I use it all the time. What am I doing? I run out. I guess I have to find a new favorite lace. Kind of trying to hurry and finish this so I can go look and see what's on for sale over at Pearls. She might be done before I ever get there. Okay. Alrighty. Let's see. Take some pins. I don't need to put too many of these in here. Just a few. So there's the inside. Where are my things? Well, I'm not going to take time to fill all these up right now, but you'll get the idea. They'll all be in here. Full of ribbons. And it really, how many it will hold really depends on how much you have on each bobbin. There we go. It's a nice little box. So what do you think? You think you make one? I hope you do. That's all for today. I hope everyone has a wonderful Thanksgiving celebration, that you're able to spend some time with your family. And I hope you come back again to see me. Bye-bye.